Hi guys, how you guys doing? And today we're just gonna do a pretty simple review on episode 2 of Disventure Camp Season 4. Just gonna talk about my thoughts on the characters and just how I feel about the season so far. I will say this episode overall was pretty good. Again, like the first episode, I wouldn't say this is the most exciting episode, but it's definitely not bad, and I did enjoy most of it. I would like to know your guys' opinion on the episode. Do you like it, hate it, or you just don't care? I would like to know. But before we talk about the actual characters, I do want to talk about the challenge. This challenge was decent. It reminds me a lot of that challenge from season 1, but instead of water, it's mud. We even get a similar scene where someone gets kicked in the ball. Is it really this camp about a ball kicking scene? I swear we get at least one scene each season where one of the guy characters get kicked in the ball. And I feel bad for them. Poor dudes. And this time it was Benji. I like Benji so far. I think he's a pretty decent character, but he really needs to watch what he says. Because I swear, it just gets him in so much trouble. He's kind of funny though. I like Benji. Enough of Benji. We'll save him later for when we talk about the characters. But again, overall, I found the challenge pretty good. It isn't the most creative or interesting challenge just because we have seen something similar to before. But for a second episode, the challenge serves its point. But now let's just actually talk about the characters, what we really care about. I am going to make this video a little different, and I am going to start with the character who got eliminated. I know, shocker. And who got eliminated? I wonder who. Totally not the most predictable and obvious choice. Definitely not. It was Alessio. Why am I kind of disappointed he's the first boot? In the first episode, I didn't really care for Alessio, but he was decent this episode. The biggest problem with Alessio, he's a very creative and unique character. I like his concept, but he just doesn't work for a show like Disventure Camp. He didn't communicate with anyone and didn't really try to be a team player. So that does leave him in a very sticky situation, which did get him eliminated. But him and Logan having these nice conversations was so cute. I really liked their conversations. Yes, Logan really annoyed Alessio, but hey, he did help with his art block. And Logan felt so bad when he got eliminated. You saw how sad he was. I would never suspect these two characters to interact, but they somehow made it work. And I just wish Alessio lasted a little bit longer so we could see more of those interactions between those two, because it was really good. And in general, Alessio was pretty good this episode. Yes, he really just painted this whole episode, but I liked him. I will say this though, he does work for a first boot. Even though I enjoy Alessio's character and maybe want him to last a little bit longer, him as a first boot works. Again, like I mentioned before, I think Alessio's a very creative character, but it just doesn't work the best for Disventure Camp. But yeah, I think the first elimination was pretty good. I already talked about Logan. Again, I liked him in this episode. He's very sweet, and he's just a kind person trying his best to help others. He really tried his best to help Alessio make it farther. But for Alessio, it's just way too late. Overall, I really like Logan. Logan, probably top 5 characters for me, maybe. He's very sweet. I like Logan. And then Richard. Richard, I think is going to be the new character Logan interacts with. I see a lot of interactions with these two. They're both coaches or both related to sports, so I can see it. And for Richard, I think Richard's decent. To me, he's not the most interesting character, but I really enjoyed that scene where he went up to talk to Tristan.
But when you're playing for a team, it's easy to get overwhelmed. Just take it at your own pace.
Yeah, I think I'm good. Thanks, man.
Anytime, bud.
Richard, again, another very sweet character. Logan and Richard over here being some nice dudes. Oh, can we talk about Linda? Linda got my nerves this episode. Linda's definitely my least favorite character. I am so confused by Linda's interview and Linda in the actual show. I thought Linda was supposed to be like this character kind of like Fiore a little bit, maybe like her. That she's gonna kind of keep it to the low, be this nice, sweet lady, but secretly planning stuff. Linda is not that. Linda is just rude. Why is she going off on Marissa? You also lost the challenge, Linda. Why are you acting like you didn't lose the challenge? And she wants this girl alliance to work so badly, but she's over here making alliances with Ted and causing problems with the girls. The people that she needs to work with are the girls, and she's causing problems with them. So I'm so confused about Linda's character. And I'm sorry to say this, Linda's going to be an early boot. Only if Ted can save Linda for longer, because she's not, Linda's screwed. But enough with Linda. Let's talk about actual good character, being Ted. If you guys don't know, so far I really do like Ted, and he is my favorite character. I know some people say I'm overhyping him. They're like, why do you like Ted so much? But I just do, and there's a lot of things so far that seems very promising. Episode 1, Ted was this more comedic type of character. He just kept getting hurt and hurt and hurt. But in this episode, he was more strategic. He actually made some plans. He was able to tell that Linda was lying to him just because of her face expressions. This is what I like about Ted. Ted is a fun character, but also knows how to be very smart and think wisely. Ted is a character people have to be careful. He's a very strong player. You can't just easily lie to him. He can read your face. So if they don't watch out, Ted can cause a lot of problems, and that's why I like him so far. And for me, Ted just has everything. Like I mentioned before, he has comedic, he has strategy, and overall, he's just a fun character. And I really like that about Ted so far. And I can't wait to see more of him. In my opinion, I do think Ted has a lot of potential to make it go super far. I just wonder how he's gonna work with Linda. Ted, let's be honest, just let Linda get eliminated. You don't need her. But I am interested in those two. But overall, I really enjoyed Ted so far. Then we have Isabelle. Isabelle is pretty good. She was one of the few characters that had like the special challenge thing where you choose something out of these 3 boxes. And she did choose Immunity Idol. So it does seem like Isabelle won't be like the super kind player, but I also don't think she's gonna be like really evil. Yeah, she did take the more selfish option, but I don't know. I'm a little confused on Isabelle's character so far. I don't know what direction they're really gonna take with her so far. I don't know. I found her pretty good. I do like her and Natalie's like friendship or like, interactions. I do enjoy that. They seem like they have a pretty nice friendship. But I do see Isabelle causes some problems. I can see her either lying to her team, which she already did that. Then we have Marissa and Anastasia. I like Marissa so far. She's a pretty strong player. I know she lost the challenge, but overall she's a strong player. And you can tell she's trying her best to be a good leader. And when she lets her team down, she does feel disappointed. You saw that. She felt really bad for losing the challenge for her team. And it doesn't help Linda over here is complaining about it. But Marissa also is very forgiving. Yes, Linda is annoying, blah, 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 all that, and kind of mean to Marissa, but Marissa is able to forgive her just to help their girl alliance. So overall, I think Marissa is a very good character so far, and does have some nice qualities as a leader. I like that she's not a really super mean leader. It's more like on the understanding and chill backside. I do like that about Marissa. I still do think Marissa might be an early boot, like later early boot, like maybe the first or second before merge. Then Anastasia, she definitely has beef with Linda, which I don't blame her. Linda's caused her some problems. But I think overall Anastasia is pretty good. She kicked poor Benji in the balls. Poor Benji. But I like Anastasia so far. Yes, Anastasia I think is definitely gonna be more of a villain character, but she isn't like outwardly rude and mean. She's only mean to people that kind of do her wrong or say stuff that's kind of mean. So I kind of like that about Anastasia. I think she's a very fun character, and I do like her interactions with Marissa. So I am looking forward to these two. Then we have Tristan, Ivy, and Jade. They were just alright this episode. I feel like they didn't do that much, but we did learn some backstory for Jade, which was very sweet, and was nice. But I still like these 3 characters, and like I mentioned with Richard, I did like Tristan and Richard's small interaction during the challenge. I think that was pretty good, and I did like it. Overall, I think these characters didn't do that much this episode, but I still like them. Now we have Spencer and Diego. I don't have much to say for these two. Again, I feel like they didn't really do as much this episode. Definitely Diego. Diego's very sweet and a kind guy. I like that about him. But so far, I'm not that much invested in his character. I don't really care for his character that much so far. He is very sweet, but I do hope he does more in the future, which he probably will. They're definitely hinting at his relationship with Spencer. We already don't know what's gonna happen. We can tell by the intro, and I think a lot of people already knew, like from like when the image got revealed, these two might be a relationship or a couple. And a couple could work. I'm not gonna hate on their relationship yet because we really haven't seen it. And hey, it could be good. And for Spencer, Again, he didn't really do much. He had like some interactions with Jade, and that was really it. So, Spencer, I have no thoughts on you. Let's move on. Jade is a very smart player and knows how to not draw too much attention onto herself. She's looking for this immunity idol by herself, and she knows if she tells anyone, it might affect her. So keeping it to herself is a good decision. I do think Jade will make it far, but I do hope they do a little bit more of her. So far, she's just really known as like this smart player, which is not bad, and she could be very strategic, which I do enjoy. But I am interested to see how her character plays out in the future. But so far, I think Jade is pretty good. Benji, I just have one word for him. Poor guy. But did he kind of deserve it? Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I like Benji. He's decent. I do hope we see a little bit more of him. So far, he's just saying the most random things that he shouldn't be saying. And that's really it so far, his character. The last two characters I'm going to talk about are Amelie and Hannah. This might be shocking, but I really enjoy Amelie's character. I know she's this very bossy business lady, which people don't like, but I do find her very entertaining. And I think Amelie has a lot of potential as the season goes on, and mainly because of the help of Hannah. Amelie and Hannah have very nice contrasts and different viewpoints. Amelie's all about this business lady. She's thinking how she can make it far. She's thinking, how does this benefit her? While Hannah's more about enjoying the moment. Amelie is this business lady, and Hannah is worried that she might be going too far. She might lose everything. Like mentioned before, Hannah had seen this before at her bar. So I do think her trying to help Amelie might be good. And I think their interactions can be pretty decent and entertaining. I wonder how this is going to work. Will Amelie actually go through a rented arc, or will she just be the early boot? Like I said, if she doesn't change, she will probably be the first boot of Red Team. But to be honest, I just don't see it. I do think someone else might be the first boot for Red Team. But overall, I really do enjoy these characters, and it was nice to get some backstory on them. We got backstory for characters like Hannah, Zay, Diego, and I do enjoy all those things. So overall, I found this episode pretty good, and there are some characters I do enjoy this episode. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and tell me your guys' thoughts on the cast so far, and how you feel about this episode. Have a great day, and see you guys next time.